Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. I'm over here just recording and recording, but it's all good. So welcome everybody to our second community call today, Wednesday the 4th. And our topic today is resolutions ? So I'm excited to dive into those a little bit today. But as you can see here, we have a new itinerary that we'll be following every week. And this is not ever going to be like right on the money. It just kind of keeps us in line, keeps us on track with making sure that we are not getting too wild. So we'll try to stay around 30 minutes, a little bit over for our recording portion. And then after that, we'll anybody can stay around to chit chat for a little bit longer if they want to. So welcome everybody. Does anybody have any immediate wins or anything that they want to talk about, share just kind of in our first welcome couple moments? I'll share what go ahead, Angela.
Well, I just want to say I'm just having some wins with reaching out to people for our 30-day challenge. And so that's exciting. And it kind of made me sad today. This woman that I talked to, she's totally struggling with a lot. And like anxiety, weight, she can't sleep, like all of the things that we could help her with. And she's tried everything. And so she's one of those that doesn't know if she can just put more money into one more thing. So I'm going to be talking to her, and it just made me sad. She said she spent on ketones. She did something with ketones. I don't really know what it was, but she did it for like 2 or 3 months, didn't see any difference. And never did the person contact her or talk to her after she purchased it. So she's like, I just felt like it was just like a one-time sale. And then I was just like, they were gone. Yeah. And I'm like, it just made me sad. And it just made me like realize how much support we have here and how awesome like our company is and our team is. And I said, oh my gosh, that makes me sick. That would never happen. And we just have support just around every corner, which I love.
That's so good. Yeah. I had brought on a gentleman. He's in his 70s, and he had been with something like Jenny Craig for 60 days and no pounds have fallen off. Like he was miserable. He's like, I don't drink any soda. I don't do anything. I've been following this T. I walk 10 miles a day or something crazy, 10,000 steps. And again, like he was like, I'm just a number there. I just walk in the door and, get my assignment and the food or whatever. And then I just eat in sadness. And I was like, that is horrible. So we have an agreement because he didn't trust me at first because I was a friend of a friend. And so Eileen had suggested to talk to me for months before he finally was like, okay, I'll listen to this person. And so she was on the phone as well. So like safety blanket and stuff, and had a great conversation. And so I check in with him. He agreed to once a week, check in with him every Friday. And then last week, he said he had an accident. He didn't go into depth if it was a car accident or a slip and fall or anything like that. But I, just gently said, hey, look, our stuff is anti-inflammatory. It's going to promote healing. Like, just let me know if you have any other questions and stuff. And he was like, oh, thank you so much for explaining that. Yeah, I'm still taking it. Everything's good. So, just, being there for them through things like that. Like some people aren't going to be big talkers. They're not going to be people that are going to share a lot and do all those things, but like having the support in knowing that they can plug into things like our community calls or plug into our Facebook groups or plug into, all of the stuff that Isagenix offers, like super great. So thanks for sharing. What about you, Anastasia?
Well, I'm cleansing today. I haven't cleansed in like few weeks. I'm freezing. I am, my goodness, but I have more energy. I'm excited about the way I'm going to feel and look tomorrow. Just cannot wait for that shake tomorrow morning. So yeah, forced myself to do the cleanse before we start 30-day kickstart because it's been a while. And I mean, the way I ate this holidays, oh my gosh, you guys, But whatever, it's all good. I mean, I'm still, feeling great and looking pretty good. So I'm, just so excited this lifestyle is long term and it's so simple to get back on track. I mean, I never really completely fell off the track, but
That's right. It's about balance, and getting through, it's like you can enjoy the cookies and the cakes and all the things, but we've got
uh,
some daily staples that keep us there, so I love that. And I know, Noah, did you have anything happen today since this morning?
Been cleansing all day.
I was supposed to be joining you all, but
I
I
know you talked about the
funny
juicer.
we bought all of this stuff for our juicing from Costco and all that stuff. And so I have like, giant sizes of all of these things, but I have been so busy today. That's all I've had today is juice and an avocado toast. That's all I've had all day today. I haven't had a shake because I was going to do juice this morning and cleanse for half the day. I have been too busy. I just got home. You're talking about freezing. I was just at my red light sauna. And so I'm still kind of pink. And so I got extremely warm today. I don't know what was causing me to feel overheated today. Sometimes I don't sweat as much today. I was like crazy. So I'm like, I just was telling Brad right before the starts, I'm like, I don't know if I should have some cleanse or if I should have a shake or if I should just make a meal because I'm traveling tomorrow. So I could cleanse for most of tomorrow, but I have a pre-NYKO party tomorrow night. So I'm like, I think they're going to have food there. I don't know.
yeah, no, for sure.
But then I truly want to get back into 2-day cleanses. It's been a while since I've done a day.
Gosh, I haven't done it today in forever. I used to do them all the time.
I know.
And it started like, I mean, I am definitely a stress eater. And because I'm under enormous amount of stress, like I just cannot see myself going for 2 days. It's just going to be torture because I mean, I do find comfort in food. And so, yeah, it's bad.
that, and working with it, and just recognizing and knowing where you're at and stuff like this is a marathon, it's not a sprint. Like we have all of our lives to get things in order in certain times. Like there's things when we get to start talking about our topic, there's things that I never could have done until this point in my life. And I don't know if I'll ever do it again, but like it's you just have to do what's right for now. And so kind of moving on here with our itinerary, with our program, every week we're going to rotate different leaders to kind of take the spotlight for the next 5 minutes. And because I just didn't have a chance to ask anybody for this week, what I talked about this morning is the use of this 5 minutes and how we can all keep this in mind. This is a time for sharing stories and sharing not just before Isagenix, I was like this, and then I started using the products and now I'm like that, but using more specific, sometimes very vulnerable moments and stuff where it's like, I mean, sometimes it might get a little bit juicy. Like, I mean, I'm just using that as an example because like, we hear the same things over and over again, and you're never going to know what people are truly looking for unless you ask those deep questions and you share some of yours. One of our teammates had this conversation with this couple, and because she shared some of her struggles that were like, very personal, that opened up the wife to talk about her personal struggles and how one of our products can help with that. And it has to do with lady stuff. And so it's like, you don't know that there's issues. We all see people for what they look like on the outside, but somebody who's very thin and very trim and very, healthy looking could be a disaster on the inside. Me and Noah talked about this yesterday. Did you guys see the football player that went down on the field?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Heartbreaking.
And, I've like my first immediate thought with all my trauma experience and stuff was like, oh, an arrhythmia, like something had jolted his heart to tell it to stop. And now I've seen a couple of TikToks of doctors explaining it. I'm like, yeah, okay, I couldn't remember the term, but I knew what they were talking about. And he's 24-year-old young, healthy man. And it's like, it doesn't take much for our bodies to be set into a spiral like that. And now he could potentially have organ failure throughout the week because of the lack of perfusion for those few minutes while they were, preparing and getting him. They did rapid CPR. He has a really great chance to have a beautiful life moving forward because he is so healthy. He's been taking care of himself. He's athletic. He's all these things. And so I used to use this example when I was doing like my introductions and stuff for BNI, where it's like COVID was a war, and how many people were prepared for war? I mean, it was terrifying in the beginning where it's like, oh my gosh, if I got COVID, like I knew people that said I would die if I got COVID because the respiratory system was so bad or their body was so bad, and they were terrified for their life. And so it's like, think about the preparation of war. And I'm gonna, we're military, so like we've prepped for war. I've been to war, in case y'all don't know. I've been to Iraq twice, and so there's a lot that goes into preparing to go overseas. And so going back to the idea of bringing up the stories, I'm not going to walk up to somebody I meet at Costco and tell them, like about my war stories. I'm going to ask them questions and learn about them and find out what their life is, where are they happiest, where are they struggling and stuff. But you always want to make sure that you're reading the room too. Like if they're uncomfortable and you're asking them questions, like read the room and then maybe, change directions. It's very easy for people to feel targeted. And what it does is it kind of evoke some feelings of self-worth. And I shared a story this morning too, where my cousin felt very targeted recently at a library. And it was a woman that's some sort of sales business. I don't know if it's network marketing or otherwise, but
Sounds like it to me.
yeah, my cousin, she said that she was like in e-commerce and it had to do with financial freedom and it had to do with debt free and all that stuff. And my cousin like felt led on in the sense of like, here's a potential friend. I'm excited to meet a friend. And then she felt like she was just trying to be sold to. And as she was taking me on this journey about how this happened, because she's not interested in joining network marketing or joining Isagenix at this time or whatever. And I've always respected that. But she took me on this journey. And there was moments where I was like, kind of proud of this girl. Cause I was like, look at her. She's got some balls, making a friend at the library. I'm like, good for you. And then I was like, oh, party foul, but it's like, you don't know some of that stuff and how it works with people and getting to know people unless you try. So if you're going to try it with a stranger, you might never see them again. But the moral of the story, before we kind of finish up on this, is as I ask different people to share on the Leader Spotlight, share a story and really talk about, something that happened that week, talk about an area of your health, get vulnerable, and share those different pieces of the puzzle that when people watch this recording and when people jump on, they really relate and they trust you more, because we're not superficial here. We're depth. We're a great community. We're here to support one another. So without further ado, as we stay on time here, today's topic is resolutions. And we had a great discussion this morning because we had some different spectrum opinions. We had some people share that they're like, resolutions are trash. I see so many people, forget about them in 5 minutes. And then we have other people that were like, I did resolutions for years and years and years. And some people have, shifted. And so we talked a little bit about where each one of us is at. Is this a great time of year for reflecting on 2022? That doesn't mean that you're setting goals. It's just like, what went well, what didn't go well, what can we improve, what can we sustain? And then what is the difference between, goal setting versus resolution? And so I'm going to open up the floor so does anybody have, burning desire and thoughts that they want to share, and kind of go around the room a little bit and hear what everybody thinks.
I actually never understood the difference between goals and resolutions. Can anybody explain this to me?
And
Goal, they're pretty much the same of what I can kind of figure out, but a resolution is something, obviously that everybody does for the new year. So it's just kind of something that, and I've never really, especially, coming from the fitness background, I think you guys will understand this. It's like people are in and out in 3 months. And then, or you have those people that come in March now and said, hey, I'm ready to work out and get ready for summer.
Yeah,
when it's too late.
I was gonna look up the definition of resolution. It's
Yeah, let's look it up. That's a great idea, because
But,
it's fun-
Sid,
I
you
really
had
don't
a
know the
statistic-
difference.
Statistic this morning though.
I know. So I looked it up. I had looked this up this morning. So this is number one. Well, I hate resolutions. I talked about it this morning. I am a big goal person. You know, like Noah, just being in the health and wellness fitness industry, I just feel like goals are just, it's just, you know, we can give people, a lot of people have the 1 month, the 3 month, the 6 month goal. But I looked it up this morning. And so a goal, the definition of goal is the end toward which effort is directed. And resolution is the act or process of resolving, such as analyzing a complex notion into simpler ones, the act of answering, the act of determining. I don't know. I think that's like a sucky definition. I would much rather have my end toward which effort is directed, where I have my eyes on the prize, and that's where I'm going. I don't know. I just feel like resolutions are just so, I don't know. Just, first of all, I feel like the whole thing is kind of made up. Like, it's the end of the year. Oh, let's, you know, I mean, thank God it's not called goal-lution. It's called resolution. And I mean, and again, being in the fitness industry, just people, it's just, you know, you make these things that you want to do, and then nobody follows through, and it's just like such a letdown, and it's a letdown for yourself more than anything else. You know, it's just one more like negative. And then to start the year out that way, you know, if you're only making, if you have this big resolution and you only make it so far, it's such a bummer. But when you can take a goal and like chop it down into, you know, smaller, finer pieces, I feel like that's much better. And that's kind of how I work. It's how I work with my work, with my, with Isagenix, with working with people. So, you know, when I work with somebody, I mean, like Sarah knows this, when we do like calls, it's like my questions to these people are like, what are you struggling with? And like, what are some goals that you want to reach? So that people start picturing in their mind.
Yeah, I actually, you know, when I talk to my clients, I actually like to ask them, how would it feel to reach your goal? And that's what I've been sending to a lot of people, because you want to create that emotion, you know, and it's like when, you know, when I think about not doing Isagenix, which that will never happen, but, you know, sometimes, you know, you just entertain the idea, right? You're like, oh my gosh, because there's so much emotion that's related to the way I feel because of this product, that I will never stop this product. You know what I mean? So asking people, how would it make you feel? I feel like made a big difference for me and for my clients too. Granted, not everybody's committed, you know, and they forget about this emotion. They're like, you know, just fall off the wagon. But it's just, I think, the problem with commitment that a lot of people have.
Yeah, it's funny you say falling off the wagon.
Oh, I hate that term. I did a whole blog about there is no wagon to fall off of, you know, it's
Yeah.
like we have our like, you know, sayings that we're like, I hate that saying, you know, when somebody the bunch of people on our team that don't like to have their brain picked, and we're like, okay.
Oh yeah.
You know, but yeah, I love everybody's perspective on all this stuff. What are your thoughts, Sarah?
Kind of the same. That I just feel like resolution is to somebody, you know, I mean, even at work, like they were like laughing, asking people like, so what's your resolution for the new year? Oh yeah, huh? You know, like as if they knew they're not going to follow through. So like, it's kind of silly. It's like, no, what are your goals? Like, and then, you know, map it out. So I don't know, the same as all yours thinking, like, yeah. And one of those other ones, and I do like it, but I know some of the teammates here in Illinois, the saying, if you can, what is it? The wave of magic wand.
Yeah.
That one, like people hate that one, but I like that. It makes you think, like, but I like fairy.
It's good for people, you know, to like sit there and dream for the first time, where
Yeah.
they're, wow, if I could do that, like, you know, if money and time were of no object, what would you be doing with your life? Like, And some people, that makes sense, but it is like sometimes a little bit too loftily, like, oh, we can help solve all those goals. Like, no, but it just gets you to have a vision and dream and see things out a little bit further. And I think that's important with some people to be able to do. Other people, they might just laugh at it type things. But yeah, I think, there's breaking things into bite-sized pieces, like you said, Sarah, was so important, because like, if you're like, in 2023, I want to save $1,000. Okay, well, how much is that per month? How much is that per week? How much is that per day? Like, and so you can break certain goals into chunks by using the SMART method. Is it specific? Is it measurable? Is it attainable? Is it realistic? And is it timely? And so when you say, I want to save $1,000 in 6 months, you can do so by putting $42 away a week. And that's a little bit more digestible. $42 is not that much,
That's
rather than saying $1,000. So when you're looking at losing weight, like I want to lose, 20 pounds in 12 months, how many pounds is that per month, per week? And, even down to the day, what are you doing in that day? And it's not linear, weight loss isn't linear. It's all over the place, but it can give you bite-sized chunks, so it's not quite as daunting. And now to share what I've done recently, I have felt like my brain is this big tangle of, like necklaces that get stuck in a drawer and you got to untangle them. And one way that's helped me untangle it is by sectioning out my life into different subjects. I've got spiritual, my day job, Isogenics, my boss ladies group, my family, my romantic relationship, California. I've got about 23 sections, and that's a lot, but that's what I've got going on. And on each page, I just wrote down keywords, ideas, some specific goals that I've already had set. Like my social media page, I broke it down to like 5 minutes on my stories, no more, no less. And 5 minutes on a post every day, no more, no less. 5 minutes on a reel. If I'm sitting here taking me 35 minutes to do a reel, there's a problem. Like, no, ma'am. Like, at least where I'm at with how many I've created and stuff. But I had more specific goals there because of, it's not day one for me, but I needed to untangle everything. And it just so happened to be the new year. It just so happened to be the first of the month. It just happened to be a Monday. It just happened to be this time of year that I am doing this. But in the preparation of doing a vision board, some of these subjects are not going to be a photo. There's just no way I can take a photo of some of these things that I want to attain and do and uphold this year. But as you're creating your board, if you wanted to, with photos, the visualization aspect is so powerful. Same thing with affirmations. I did one full page of affirmations already, and I'm probably going to do a million more. This is my entire, I know it's blurry, my entire affirmations, but like, I mean, this isn't even all of the pages that I did. And I don't see any of this to like scare anybody to be like, oh my God, I need to do that. Because this is just what Sadie Tolbert needed to do at this time in my life. Some people might just need to write down 2 things. And there you go. That's a start. But for us to be, leaders and to be helping people along with these, we just have to know that everybody's at a different place. If somebody walks into any of our lives today and says, my New Year's resolutions are this, this, and this, are we going to laugh at them? No, we're going to be like, tell me about it. And we're going to help curate those resolutions to turn them more into better bite-sized goals, things that we can like attach those feelings to. Like, tell me, Diana, how would it feel to get down on the floor to play with your grandkids? How would that feel? And then remember those words that they said, because you may need to regurgitate them back later. And if she's like, I think I'm going to give up, but remember how you said you would feel when you could get down with those kids on the floor. You said it would bring you so much joy.
No,
It's, invoking those feelings sometimes.
said
And
no.
I remember the first time I thought about that, thinking that's kind of like
I
pouring
said
salt
no.
in the wound. I don't like that. But sometimes we need pain or pleasure in order to move forward in life, right? Either it's going to feel so good that you can't stop. Like, of course I'm going to do this. It feels so good. Or it hurts so bad, I have to stop. That's a Tony Robbins thing. Okay. So moving on, this morning we talked about Bia, but I don't have Bia on me right now. I'm gonna come up with a list of products every week that we'll talk about. But I'm like, what do I have on my desk? Because I didn't think to grab before. But actually, I'm gonna be highlighting this in our Unstoppable page here soon and talking about our Hydrate, which is, one of our more cheapest, easiestly accessible products. And it's, any age, like babies can drink, not newborns. Okay. Toddlers can drink this, but this is a way to balance all of that water in our body, because when you're drinking H2O, you have to balance it with salt. And when we think of salt in general, we think of table salt. Table salt is extra. We get all the salt we need in our diet in general, but when you look at the electrolytes that are in something like this, it's excellent for replenishing, going to a sauna, exercise, and even for the elderly, when they can't drink as much water in, this is a great way to balance that for them and allows them to feel, the benefits of all of the additional vitamins and stuff that we have in here too. So I did, in our Facebook group, I scheduled out 3 or 4 product posts the next couple weeks, and I'm highlighting Hydrate. So what is everybody's favorite flavor?
Blue raspberry.
I think orange for me.
That's a hard one. Like,
I like the lime.
just started trying the coconut, and it's oddly weird, but good. Like, I don't know, but it's not my favorite, but
I
lemon
tried
lime.
that 1 month.
So I think I'm orange, but I do equally, I think I kind of rotate mostly between orange and lemon lime, but there's blue raspberry finds its way into our house every, maybe every quarter. And then I think I've only ever ordered coconut like twice. And what I like coconut as I don't like it by itself. I like coconut mixed with other things like pineapple juice or, coconut and orange probably would be good, but yeah, so perfect. Okay, so we'll wrap up today by just talking about an assignment for the week. And really, I feel like to stay on track with, the goal setting and resolution, it's just to identify and do some reflection on the past year and identify, just who you want to be this year. And you don't have to write it down. You don't have to do vision board. You don't have to do anything, but just like, what are you proud of and happy about that happened in 2022 that you want to keep forward with? What are you still working on growing in your life? Some people like to pick a word of the year. My word this year is intention. And the statement after that is, I am intentionally applying all of the lessons and the education that I received in 2022, because it was so much information all year long from the accelerator and from all of these different growth opportunities that I just didn't feel like I applied it in the way that I could if I had more time back. So this year it's application time. Let's do it. So
I do have a question. Sorry, I know we got to jump off to another call, but what is the difference between a steam room and a sauna? Because I went to a new YMCA in Plainfield, super cool, really cool. And then one lady was like, yeah, there's a sauna and a steam room. And I was like, what? I thought they were the same.
Actually, steam room is more condensation. I mean, there's just steam in it. You don't really typically have the steam version in saunas. You know how you see the little rocks, and places say don't pour water on the rocks, but back in the day, people used to, and it would cause steam, but it doesn't stay in. And most of the time, a sauna is made out of wood, and a steam room is going to be made out of some sort of ceramic or tile. It's usually hotter as well in the steam room, so you don't want to be in there quite as long. But that's really good for like opening up your pores and really breathing in that like moist air. And then of course, layering in the different red lights and different things like that too. So the sauna that I go to, that's the red light sauna. It's very dry, not to the point where I feel like, I need lotion afterwards because I'm sweating, but it's a dry heat. So it kind of, you're not like dying, like, oh my God, this is humid, so that's kind of the different layers. So just
Okay.
you like, and, just if you're like, I can only stand 5 minutes in the steam room, cool. Then every other time go from steam to sauna where you can maybe sit 30 or 40 minutes
Yeah.
and kind of plan that out. So that's a great question.
Because my one that I usually go to doesn't have it, so it'll be like a treat, to go to a different location. So
And that's
thank you.
Woo-hoo. So, and again, as always, before I stop recording and stop sharing here, anybody can stay on until the hour, unless you want to hop on and go watch Hayden's call. But our vision here is to allow everybody a seat at the table. This is a safe space where you can come and learn and be educated. You can use our products or not, but we're a group of people that just want to support each other and lift each other up through sharing wins and talking about things that we're passionate about. So thanks for jumping on and watching, and we'll hit